iOS Pulse, episode number 25. This episode of the iOS Pulse podcast is brought to you by GoToMeeting with HD Faces. Welcome to the iOS Pulse podcast, episode number 25. As always, I'm your host, Lloyd Hannison. And we have a great episode for you. First episode in a new week. And we got a great review by Jared, who's taken a small break. Some stuff has been happening with him. I'll let him explain it. I don't want to spoil any news or anything like that. But he thought ahead to pre-record a couple episodes of the iOS Pulse for me, which was a huge help. So huge thanks to Jared, and can't wait to talk to you again, man. But for this week, we have a episode of the iOS Pulse, which is a review of a game called Spice Bandits by Chillingo. This is a free app that actually has in-app purchases. It's kind of a desktop tower defense game, but I'll let Jared talk about it because he's the pro. He's the one that's doing the review. But before we get into that, just had a couple announcements here for the VG Podcast Network. Of course, we have the iOS Pulse, we have Touch of Gaming, Nintendo Pulse, and These Dudes on Games are the shows that we're currently offering here at the VG Podcast Network. But today we launched some new forums. We had some older, outdated forum software about 9 months ago. I got rid of it because it was constantly getting hacked and spammed and all that stuff. Put in just it was a message board that allowed you to basically log in with all of your social media credentials. So if you had a Facebook account or Twitter or whatever, you could do that. But it wasn't that great. It was almost a kludge, really, for how we were using it. It wasn't that great. So today I installed some new forum software called Vanilla. And the nice thing is it's actually replacing all of the comments on my blog with a forum, basically. So when we post a new podcast over at vgpodcast.com, you can go there to click on it to comment, and we'll actually take you over to the forums. The nice thing is you'll see nice threads. You can sign up for the forums. You can log in with Facebook or your Twitter account. So hopefully this will be something that a lot more people will use. I know our other forums were very cumbersome, very kludgy, and not too many people made any use of it, just because it was such a a tough forum to get into. Hopefully this one will be a little bit better, but definitely go check it out, vgpodcast.com/forums. Let me know what you think. Let me know how it works for you, and most importantly, get in there and start chatting so we can have some conversations with you guys, the listeners. All right, so let's take a small break before we get into the review by Jared. I just wanted to bring you a message from our friends over at GoToMeeting. Citrix is a great company, and they have some great products, especially the one that we're going to be talking to you about today. Do you have colleagues that are working from home or traveling for business? That's pretty common in today's business, and getting everybody together for a meeting is almost an impossible task at times. But I have the solution for you. That's GoToMeeting with HD Faces. Your team can meet face-to-face, online, no matter where they are in the world. And it takes only seconds, and it's easy, simple, and just amazing that it works so well. GoToMeeting by Citrix allows you to collaborate on files and plans online, whether you're working on graphics or CAD drawings or websites. Doesn't matter. It basically allows you to give your screen to everybody that's viewing it. Basically, with HD Faces, the new addition to Citrix offering, you basically just need a webcam. So if you have a Mac like I do, if you have an iPad, if you have a PC, you just need a webcam, and you can turn your online meetings into group HD video. So gone are the days when you have to spend thousands of dollars to buy these specialized cameras to send to everybody so you could have an in-person meeting or a virtual in-person meeting. You can just do it now for the same price as running the meetings with your GoToMeeting account. It's a free add-on, and you can watch everybody's faces. Pretty amazing. And you can even participate on the go now because of the built-in camera on your iPad. So you could be sitting in a coffee shop and you could jump into a meeting. Really, really cool. To get into it, you just download the free GoToMeeting app on your iPad to join. Being able to see people's faces in the meeting is huge, especially if you're in sales. But if you're in a product meeting or you're pitching a product, looking at the faces across the boardroom table, it's a virtual boardroom table, but looking at them can really give you an idea of how your meeting's going. It's huge. There's a reason why in-person meetings are the best. Now you don't even need to get together. You can have in-person meetings virtually, which is really, really cool. I love GoToMeeting. I've been using their product for years and years and years. I use it at work. I've used a lot of other services, and it's always cringy when a vendor is trying to sell us something or doing some training, and they send me a link with one of the competitors' products. Nothing is as easy as GoToMeeting. And I do recommend that you go try it. You can start hosting your own face-to-face online meetings today with GoToMeeting. But don't wait. You can use the special offer code to get it for free. Since you're one of my listeners, just visit gotomeeting.com, click try it free at the on that page, and you can just type in the promo code podcast, and you can download and activate your free 30-day trial within a matter of seconds. It's really easy. So just go to gotomeeting.com, click on try it free, and then type in the promo code podcast. All right. Well, let's get in, or thanks to Citrix for supporting the show, and let's get into this review. As I said, it's Jared, and it's going to be a game called Spice Bandits. I think it was called Spice Invaders when I first heard about it. I guess they had some naming issues, so it was changed. So anyway, here's Jared with his review of Spice Bandits.
On today's episode of the iOS Pulse podcast, I'm going to be talking about Spice Bandits. Spice Bandits is a tower defense game. It is made by On5. However, it's actually published by Chillingo. So it's a pretty standard tower defense game. You are basically a bunch of aliens that are attacking the Earth, and their Earthlings are trying to stop you, and you're just basically after their spice. So there are a couple of different currencies in this. The first one is obviously the spice that you're getting. There are a couple things. You can level up your towers, but you have to unlock their upgrades. So you might at first get your normal just shooter tower, and then be able to get a second level, but you have to unlock that. And there's two requirements for that. You first of all have to get the right level, and then you also have to have sufficient spice to open it up. So spice becomes a pretty big thing throughout the game. It's the main form of currency, and things get more and more expensive with spice. So I went and paid the $5 for 600 spice because I felt like that would get me pretty far. And I've played this game now, unlocked most of it, and I've had sufficient spice for everything except for basically the last level of towers that is available to you. So that's without buying any of the things to make my little guy look cooler, because I didn't really care about making him. Because that's another thing in the game. You have your little alien, and you can dress him up and make him look however you want. However, all the different items cost spice, and since it is so limited, I never bought any of it. It's kind of fun because there's lots of different modes on every single map. So, for example, you'll obviously have your normal one, which means you defend the base, you place your little towers. The towers in this case are on a hexagonal basis, which is kind of cool because it allows for a little bit more customization than the standard squares, because you can make a more intricate paths with 6 sides. Then there's also sudden death mode, which as soon as they get to your base, you're dead. Then there's air attack on lots of them, not all of them, and that just means that they'll only attack with air units, so you have to make sure you have really strong air defenses. Then there's camps, which is actually really fun. It's an online mode, and the matchmaking on it is actually pretty good. You can almost always find someone that's willing to play a quick round of camps with you. The only thing is I found that there's nothing more frustrating than if you're playing a game of camps and suddenly either yours crashes or your opponent will crash and you lose the game. There's also cooperative, where you're working together to beat it, and there's competition. So there's lots of different modes on all the different maps, and the maps are very, very different. You go around, travel around the world. You start well, I guess you start off the coast, and then you work down through South America, and then up through Africa and into Europe. You kind of just work all around the world, which is kind of cool. So there, like I said, there is very heavy freemium elements to this, because you have to buy the spice in order to actually get the upgrades that you may have achieved through your levels. Additionally, you have what's called the upgrade yard, and the upgrade yard is where you can go and just upgrade your towers, which is kind of cool because it makes it so each tower, every single time you build it, is better. However, again, you only get like 3 per level, and so you need a lot of upgrade points in order to get everything. And you can either purchase upgrade points through Spice or earn it, but if you earn it, it takes a very long time. So it's kind of cool. I really like, there's a total of 6 types of towers. It's your normal types, your guns, your missiles, a chemical one that does poison or it can slow them down, the electric tower, the anti-aircraft, and then the ones that make all the towers around it better. So it's kind of cool, though, because what happens is there's the first 3 levels, and then you have to pick between one branch of the tower or the other branch of the tower. For example, on the simple machine gun, you can either go for a really heavy machine gun that hits hard and fast, or you can go with the sniper that shoots a little bit slower but has incredible range. So on every single one of them, and then there's 3 upgrades to that. So you can upgrade to a point, and then you have to pick to specialize in one branch or the other. So it's kind of cool with that. Like I said, the one downside to this is the very heavy freemium issues, and then every once in a while I did have crashing issues. I have looked through the reviews, and it looks like I'm not the only one with these crashing issues, but it happens rarely enough that it wasn't a really big concern to me. One thing I would recommend doing is turning off your iPod all the way and then turning it back on, maybe even before you play this game, not necessarily just after you install it. And that seemed to help a lot because it clears out the memory and all that. So again, this game is called Spice Bandits. You'll find it listed under Chillingo. It is free in that app store, and I would actually recommend this one if you're looking for a good tower defense game and you're okay with spending a couple of bucks on getting a few upgrades. This one will really fit the bill. I don't recommend using the fitting room and changing your costume, all that, but yeah, it's a fun game, and I really enjoyed playing it. So yeah, I'm going to give it a 4 stars out of 5. So that's today's review on the iOS Pulse podcast.
All right. Well, thanks to Jared for that great review of the game Spice Invaders, or Spice Bandits. I keep wanting to say Spice Invaders since that's how I first found out about this one. So yeah, thanks Jared for sending that one in, and thanks everybody for staying subscribed. We appreciate all the comments that you guys have been leaving over at our contact form. But do head out and check out the forums, log in, create an account, and let's get chatting. I'd love to chat with each and every one of you, see what kind of games you're playing, what kind of reviews you want us to do here on the iOS Pulse or across all the other shows that we do here on the network. I want to get you guys more involved with what we're doing. It would be more fun for everybody involved if that was the case. So definitely get in contact with us. You can do that a number of different ways. You can head on over to vgpodcast.com, click contact us at the top of the page to send us an email. You can comment on the blog post for this episode just by viewing it on the site and going down to the bottom. That will take you to our little forum entry. You can create an account or log in with your Facebook or Twitter. Of course, you can just go to vgpodcast.com/forums if you want to avoid all that stuff and just log in directly to that site, create a profile and do all that stuff you want to do. You can call us directly. Our phone number is area code 505 VG Podcasts. We'd love to get little voice memos or voicemails that we can then play in future episodes of the show. Heck, even if you want to do a 60-second or a 2-minute review of your favorite game, we can maybe even devote a full iOS Pulse to a couple different user-submitted reviews. That would be really great as well. All right, guys. So have a great week. We'll be back with another iOS Pulse on Wednesday, followed by Touch of Gaming on Friday. So we got you covered with 3 doses of iOS gaming on here at the VG Podcast Network. Take care, guys, and we'll talk to you soon.